Hey, welcome to my channel. I'm Rasan, and today, actually, our special guest.
Nothing.
And today, actually, reviewing. It's another Hot Toys review, and this is actually the Spider-Man Miles Morales from the Spider-Man PS4 / PS5 game. And this is and Miles Morales. Who's your favorite superhero?
Miles Morales.
Miles Morales is your favorite superhero. That's his favorite superhero. That's one reason I had him in the video right now as a special guest. And this figure, now this video game actually was out for a while. I actually just got it this year, and the figure actually came out this year. Actually, the front of the box is actually Spider-Man from the PS5 game. I think it looks great, showing off his powers on the side as well. 1/6 scale figure. This is actually the video game masterpiece number 46. This is actually the side of the box. This is actually the other side that I just shown. This is actually the back of the box with all the credits and stuff. Top of the box says the Spider-Man Miles Morales at the top and Spider-Man Miles Morales at the bottom. Now Miles Morales, he was actually introduced as the Ultimate Spider-Man in the comic books. Of course, he has his movie Into the Spider-Verse, which he loves. That's probably his favorite movie of all time. And as you see, actually open the box. This is something that they usually don't do. They actually show you everything you can do with the figure. I think that's a really cool, nice little thing on the back of the box. I love that detail on it. You can see on the other side it says video game masterpiece. At the top it says Spider-Man Miles Morales as well. And he was actually created by, I believe, Brian Michael Bendis in the comic books. And there's actually a part 2 to both of the Spider-Man games, the Peter Parker and Miles Morales version, where they're both going to be with villains, like Kraven and Venom. And of course, Miles Morales, he's actually getting a sequel to his first cartoon movie, actually called Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. And as you can see, looking at this, go ahead, spin around with me. Why do you love Miles Morales so much?
Because he's a good guy.
He's a good guy?
Yeah. So, he's about to get him out here, and then they're going to put this on him, and that, and the stuff, and he's about to change his hands
and looking at the clamshell of him, you actually all the accessories. I'll get into more in detail in a second. But of course, Miles Morales, I mean, his movie will be coming very soon. I don't know who's actually going to play Miles Morales. There's a lot of talk about a lot of different people who actually going to play him. A lot of references inside the Tom Holland trilogy. If you've seen the No Way Home movie, actually Electro's Jamie Foxx actually referenced him as well. So he'll definitely be coming very soon inside live action. But I actually open this all the way up. Now to me, this is, to me personally, the best Hot Toy that I've ever seen in person. This is the best Spider-Man figure. Just to me personally, I love the colors on it. I love the way they actually made this sculpted instead of the fabric for actually his head. And just the articulation on it, and just the material that they actually use. A lot of the Spider-Man suits, the material actually wear and tear. You actually get this right here, it actually splits open a lot of times. That's why I don't really pose the Spider-Man figures. A few of them you actually pose, but this one is very posable, and I love that about it. And actually growing up, I actually was a Peter Parker fan because I didn't even know who Miles Morales was. I wasn't deep in the comic books. I read them from time to time. I wasn't deep into them, but just learning more and more about the character, I started to really, really love the character. And he started becoming one of my favorite superheroes of all time. And actually getting into this figure, you actually can see it's the classic suit from Miles Morales. It's the same as Spider-Man, but there's a few differences on him. I mean, the Spider-Man logo actually comes out a little bit, and actually said in the instructions, actually don't take that off because it actually doesn't remove. But I love like the metallic look to his suit as well. I love that about it. And actually looking at the back, it's a really plain suit, it's all blacked out. And that's the way it's supposed to be as it came out from the comic books and stuff like that. Of course, Miles Morales' origin story with the Prowler and his dad actually being a cop, and him actually meeting up with Peter Parker, like the video game actually plays out. You actually see his arms comes up this far. You've got to be careful with these ratcheted joints because you really don't know how far they're actually supposed to go. So you see it goes up this far. I really be scared because it's like they actually show you the instructions that it lets you just go all the way out. I never really do that. I'm just scared I'm just gonna break a figure. You don't want to break a figure like this. I mean, it's $300. You don't want to break it, but his arms actually come up this far. His head, the movement on his head is a little weird because it seems like you can move it more. I don't know because it's not fabric anymore, but it seems like you can't move it as much as you used to. And the ab crunch, I think it's fine. You move it that far back, that far up. It seemed like you could move it more farther up on the Tom Holland figures, but that's just what it seems like. The leg articulation, you move it all the way up here. See that? You basically do whatever you want with this figure. Double jointed knees. As you see right here, he has double jointed knees. Of course, double jointed elbows as well. Has great articulation on this figure. Another double jointed elbow. And getting into the shoes, actually these are actually supposed to be Jordans or Nikes, but they actually don't want to pay the license fee on it, so they actually just leave it plain or blank, just like on the Miles Morales cartoon, which I might actually pick up that figure. I don't know, it really wouldn't make sense for me to have that one because it's a cartoon and the rest of my figures are very realistic. Even though this is from a video game, it's still very realistic, but to add him in there, I might actually pick him up. He actually comes with a ton of accessories and stuff. Actually, we'll be getting into the accessories that actually comes with this figure. Now, actually getting into the accessories, actually first starting out with the first accessory, you actually have the cat. Now, in the game, he's actually named Spider-Man. Since Miles Morales technically isn't Spider-Man, he's actually Miles Morales. Since Spider-Man still exists as Peter Parker inside the video game universe. And then the cat has great detail, as you see on it. He actually is an orange cat. He actually has a Spider-Man mask on. I think they did a great detail on it. I don't think it needs to be articulated or anything like that. But I think it's just a great cat and a great detail. And it's something new that actually comes with a Hot Toys figure. Into the next accessory, I think this is one of the best accessories I've actually seen on a Hot Toy figure. This is actually the Miles Morales' book bag. And if you know Spider-Man, he actually has an array of book bags since he always loses them, since he actually is changing out into the Spider-Man gear stuff. It actually comes with a handle. I think it's great detail, and it is hard plastic. It's not like a soft type plastic. You actually can switch it out, as you see here. Actually taking this out, you actually take this out and actually put in the switch out for this, which actually plugs in right here, and that's where you actually put in the Miles Morales cat into here. And actually you see that's what he actually looks like inside the book bag, so you actually can switch him out, actually put him in there inside the book bag. I think this is a great detail on this figure. I think that's a really great accessory. You actually put them on. Morales book bag actually stand, but I don't think that'll actually happen. But I think this is one of the best Hot Toys accessories that I've ever seen. And actually moving on to the next accessory, I think these are ear muffs that actually comes with. I think it's another great detail. You can actually use this on any Spider-Man figure that you actually have, and a great detail on it. You see the patterns on it and stuff like that. I think that's great detail on this figure. Now, actually getting into these, there's no point in me really talking about the webs all like that, because these comes with every single Spider-Man figure. Every Spider-Man figure comes with these same ones. They don't really need to switch it up because Spider-Man is the same thing, but these come from every single Spider-Man figure. So there's enough to talk about that. And actually, one of the coolest accessories actually comes with like a set. You actually have a scarf, his hat, which actually is red. You actually put this on his head, which you can use for other figures as well. And you actually have a scarf right here. You actually have his leg warmers right here, which actually comes with it as well. I think there's really, really great detail on this. And I love the material on this as well. But actually, you can see right here, it's his lightning effects, with actually his powers that Peter Parker doesn't have, but Miles Morales does have. When I get into the posing, I will actually show him actually like this. But this is not something I actually use on a figure on a regular basis. As you see, has all lighting on it. As you see on the cover of the Miles Morales PS4 game, which I'll try to recreate that that pose as well once I get into the posing. And as you can see, he actually comes with 3 sets of eyes. And actually, these eyes and the eyes on the figure are pretty much the same thing. The middle ones, the eyes, I mean, it's like a slight difference, but it's pretty much the same. You see, he actually has kind of the closed eyes. He doesn't have the all the way shut eyes like Peter Parker actually has. He has the open eyes right here. And he has the half shut eyes right there. I think those are really great detail on those. I love the metallic look all throughout this figure.
Well, it's different kind of eyes, but that eye is set, and that one is a little bit open. That one is wide open, right?
And as you can see, first starting out, looking at all the hands, first starting out with the web shooters, you actually can plug it in and switch it out on both of these, on both hands, which actually every Spider-Man actually comes with. And as you can see, it actually comes with 2 fisted hands. I love the metallic on it, love those colors. I love the black and the red on it. You see the pattern on his actual hand. It comes with another fisted hand right here. Great detail on that. It actually comes with 2 hands we actually use for the webs. These actually aren't fist hands. They're actually for swinging with webs and stuff. It's kind of the same thing. But I think there's great detail on that as well. And actually, these hands are actually pretty much the same ones that come with the ones that's already on the figure. Actually, looking at it in more detail, you actually can see it. And you can actually see more of the inside of the hand as well. The black and the red and metallic look to it. Actually, another one just like it comes with 2 web shooting hands. The classic Spider-Man look you see right here. Great detail on this as well. Now, I don't really use bases. All like that. But I think this is a really cool base. It has Spider-Man Miles Morales on it. Has Spider-Man logo. Says Spider-Man Miles Morales from the video game. Says copyright Marvel 2021. It's a really cool base. It actually comes. I actually thought it come with a regular display base. It actually comes flight pole and a flight stand. As you see right here, it's just a generic flight pole and flight stand that comes with a ton of Hot Toys figures. It's supposed to protect the figure, but it really doesn't. I wouldn't recommend having him inside here for a long time. Definitely damage the suit. I don't really use these all like that. It would be cool if they did like a magnetic type of thing. We could actually have him flying, but it's magnetic. But I guess in the future they'll actually probably have that. And that was the accessories and everything that comes with this figure. And next up, I actually get into some posing of this figure. And actually get into my first pose of this figure. You actually see he actually has the cat Spider-Man behind his back. He actually has the cat Spider-Man behind his back. As you see, he actually is in a stance as he's about to fight. And he has his book bag on. And I think this is a really, really great accessory. It really adds so much to the character. You can actually have him inside of just a generic pose with the backpack, and he'll still stand out in your collection. Like I said before, I think this is the greatest This is, to me, definitely the greatest Spider-Man figure, and probably one of the greatest figures that Hot Toys has ever made. And it's still luck because I love the Captain America figures and the other Peter Parker figures, but this figure is just so great. Great pose, great figure. It really adds a lot to this character and to this action figure. And I'll get into my next pose now. And actually get into the next pose is actually of Miles Morales actually holding Spider-Man and the cat. You actually have Miles Morales actually holding Spider-Man, the cat up. There's a lot of great things you actually do with this cat. You put in his backpack, you actually have him holding them up. I think it's a really great accessory for this figure and for this Miles Morales. This Miles Morales, the articulation is great. There's not really anything you can't do with this figure. I do wish it was some toe articulation on the figure. But, I mean, that ain't that too big of an issue. And this is actually my second pose of him actually holding the cat. I actually get into my next pose. And with this pose, I actually tried to recreate the cover art for the Spider-Man Miles Morales game. With him actually shooting his powers out with the right hand. He actually has the left hand up. And actually has his legs all the way back. And dynamic pose, which you actually really do with this figure. I was surprised you could actually bend it back and bend it like that. You know, you see the base light stand on him, and actually, you actually see it. I think this is a really, really great pose of him taken straight out of the Miles Morales video game. And I absolutely love this game. I love playing the first game as well in this Miles Morales game. Can't wait till they team up inside the second game. There will be a ton of new suits inside the game. He actually has this suit as well, and the advanced suit for Peter Parker actually has the Iron Spider legs now. And it's very interesting to see what they actually do with both of them inside the new video game. But I absolutely love this pose. Take a shout out of Miles Morales PS4 game. Get into my next pose. And actually, get into my next pose is actually with him, if Air Mutts hat, the scarf, and actually his leg warmers as well. And actually, you can't take off the shoes, so you have to pull them all the way up for the leg warmers. His scarf looks great. I don't know if I have it on right, but it still looks great. My favorite accessory out of all these definitely the hat. You actually put this on other figures as well. Now I'm going to get to my last and final pulls to get my final thoughts on this entire figure. And this last and final pulls of him actually shooting his web, but you did the other web as well. And actually, I actually love this figure. This is my #1 figure in my collection. Out of all the figures that I have in the back of me, this is actually my favorite one. But this is my #1 figure in my collection. I absolutely love this one. Picking up this figure, if you're a Spider-Man fan, if you're a Miles Morales fan, I hope you enjoyed this review, this unboxing and review of Miles Morales Spider-Man from the PS5 game by Hot Toys. Like, comment, subscribe.